चार्जिंगला लावलाय पण लाईटच नाहीये.
चार्जिंगला नाही लावलं. वेट
सेशनला घेऊन जायचं सेशन.
येस. स्लाइड शो.
Good morning, one and all. I, Professor Deepali Bhandari, welcome you all, dear delegates and today's eminent speaker, Dr. Prashant Kharkar, sir. I welcome you on behalf of Sir Dr. M.S. Gosavi, College of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Nashik. Today, we are having the third session on fostering the research, innovation, and academic excellence in pharmacy for the 1 week International e-FDP, e-STP. Today we have with us on a first session, Dr. Prashant Kharkar, sir, the Professor, Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. I will introduce sir's educational qualification and the research expertise awards, etc. Sir has pursued his PhD in pharmaceutical chemistry in 2003, University of Mumbai, ICT. Sir has completed his B.Pharm in pharmaceutical chemistry in 2000 from University of Mumbai, ICT. He has completed his B.Pharm in 1998 from the University of Pune and DMVP's College of Pharmacy, Nashik. Sir has different areas of interest and expertise, including some here, the medicinal chemistry, computer-aided molecular design, chem informatics, biomedical sciences, computational and experimental drug repurposing, drug discovery from this lead identification to the preclinical development. Sir has the work experience in academics. Sir is currently working as a professor of medicinal chemistry at ICT Mumbai since 2019, present till date. Sir has associated as a professor and head in pharmaceutical quality assurance in MIMS Mumbai since 2018 to 2019. Also associated with the associate professor and head in pharmaceutical chemistry in MIMS Mumbai since 2012 to 2018. Sir was lecturer at Bharati Vidyapith College of Pharmacy since 2003 to 2004. Sir has different research as the senior research scientist, NICOM at Takeda, Mumbai since 2011 to 2012. As a research scientist in Piramal Life Sciences, Mumbai, 2009 to 2011. Postdoctoral fellow at Wayne State University, USA since 2006 to 2009. Executive in Chemi Informatics, Reliance Life Sciences since 2005 to 2006, and junior research scientist at Nicholas Piramal, India, 2004 to 2005. Sir has different contributions in the research and academics. Sir has total 15 plus years of research experience in industry, academic, and after the postdoctoral. Sir has 90 plus international research publications, 40 plus international conference presentations, and 25 patent applications, national as well as international. Sir got 10 granted patents, including 5 international plus 5 Indian patents. He has guided 5 PhD and 25 plus PG students, 9 PhD students currently registered under his guidance. Sir received the grants of rupees 8.5 crore from various national agencies and industry. His contributions, including in the drug discovery as cancer stemness inhibitors. Currently, he is working in this topic and IND approved, which is IND approved, and the phase 1 ongoing research work on cancer stemness inhibitor. Also, the COVID-19 viral entry inhibitor, which is also IND approved and phase 1 ongoing on this research topic. Sir has the additional roles and the portfolio. He has the leadership in that is Dean, Students and Alumni Affairs, ICT, from 2025 to present. Former Associate Dean in Academic Programs, President, Institute Innovation Council, ISC, ICT. Also the Director, ICT, NIC Venture Incubator, and founder, Minoni M Life Sciences Private Limited, which is best therapeutic startups at biomimicry. Sir has the different achievements and the recognition. Some are listed here. Very few I have including, which is very topmost. All India rank one in 1998 in GATE 99.96 percentile. Sir achieved. Stanford University World Top 2% Scientist recent years. INSA International Exchange Award in 2015. Sir also got the award as Newton Baba Research Links Award in 2019. He is registered patent agent and editorial board member and journal reviewer for leading journals. So these are the achievements and the research impact metrics. So here I would like to include his citations for the research work. Citations, total citations 2,422 since 2021 to till date. H index is 28 and R index is 58. I welcome you, sir, for the session one of the day three. Sir would like, I would like to tell to delegates, sir is going to discuss about the innovative ways to innovate, making every movement count. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Now my screen is already shared. So is it visible? Is my presentation visible? Thank you so much. Is my presentation visible? Is my pre-
Yes, sir. Now it is
okay.
visible.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for inviting me for this very interesting FDP, which not only talks about innovation, research, but also about academic excellence. And I welcome you all faculty members who are present here for this FDP. So today I'm going to share my thoughts on innovative ways to innovate, making every moment count. So I'm in a role of a teacher, a pharmacy teacher, who also happens to be a researcher, who also happens to be an innovator. Basically, I'm very curious person, and I'm very much passionate about whatever I do, and all these I would say traits have really shaped in whatever I am today, whatever I do. So thank you so much. Gokhale Education Society, Sir Dr. M.D. Gosavi, M.S. Gosavi, College of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Nashik. I'm very happy to be here. So I will start with this opening line. Innovation in pharmacy education is need of the hour. I'm sure those who are attending this FDP will definitely agree with this statement. It's not a question, it is a statement. Now, see, every word is important. Innovation in pharmacy education, that is the need of the hour. So, now, whether this is the need of the hour for the institutions, for the teachers themselves, for the student community, for the industry, I would suggest, or I would say, it is the need of the hour for all the stakeholders involved, because this is an ecosystem and we are all part of this ecosystem. So any one fallout in this ecosystem will disrupt everything, every other stakeholder. And this is exactly where I would like to share some of my thoughts, the practices that we imbibe, and whatever empirical learnings we have all these years. It's been more than 25 years that I came to ICT Mumbai for my masters. Of course, while I was in Nashik, we had a great team of teachers who were so passionate, so disciplined, so strict, so innovative, and we owe, like I owe all whatever I am today to all my teachers. So with a great vandan to all the teachers, I start whatever little I know, whatever little I have learned along the way, and I would like to share it with all. Now, I only have 14 slides, so that includes the title slide as well as the thank you slides. So, in all, 12 slides, but I'm going to spend time in sharing my thoughts about very simple aspects of how you can achieve innovation in anything and everything that you do in your daily life as a teacher, as an individual, as a as a family man, right? So here I would like to pose this as a question. Now, why it is necessary to have innovation in pharmacy education? Like I mentioned, the stakeholders, including the industry, stakeholders, including the students, us, the institutions, and the society in a way, right? So now we always hear this particular statement that the students don't know what it takes to be successful in the industry, and the industry expects probably too much. An industry, when they come for placement, or when they hire fresh students, so they see that there is a huge gap between the skill set that the student has and the expectations that that the industry or the company has, right? And this is exactly where I would like to focus your attention on these key aspects. What are the industry expectations? How is the regulatory and how are regulatory and tech disruptions changing the scenario? And then, of course, when it comes to shift from the syllabus centric to problem centric pharmacy education, probably we are talking about filling these gaps that we have realized along the way. And this is exactly where I would like to focus attention to the first part, that is industry expectation. Now, what does the industry expect a fresh pharmacist who joins either in the production, either in the R&D, either in the documentation or regulatory? Of course, there are multiple job opportunities, and of course, when I was when I was graduate back in 1998, BPharm graduate, the scenario was completely different, and what you see is completely different. The number of pharmacy colleges have increased, the number of students have increased, and of course there is always this outcry of quality of the students in terms of their industry readiness. So industry expects the pharmacist, including the fresh pharmacist, to be translational scientist. So there has to be always a focus on the translation. What is translation? Translation is basically taking some problem, working on that problem, and then the outcome of the solution that actually is useful for some or the other purpose, which is required, like which is necessary for the business. So you need to deal with some problem that the society is facing. So now, in our case, it's the healthcare, it's the patient community, and of course the industry itself. So industry expects the fresh pharmacy graduates to be translational scientists. Industry also expects the fresh pharmacists to be regulatory thinkers. Now, I mean, whatever we do in colleges, in pharmacy college during our graduation day, of course, we have access to many different sites, free tools when it comes to regulations or regulatory requirements are concerned. We do have some subjects which deal with regulatory, but in a way, and these regulations keep changing all the time. There are amendments, just like we have the new drugs and clinical trial rules. 2019 came, which completely rewrote Schedule Y. And then, of course, there are many different things, including OECD guidelines, then the FDA requirements, and so many different things, right? So, whatever we do, we have to ultimately think from the regulatory perspective, because our business, like the pharma business, is highly regulated, and then for the obvious reasons, to ensure the safety and efficacy of whatever goes to the patients, and these regulations are extremely important. So, the industry expects the students, the fresh pharma graduates, to be regulatory thinkers. And nowadays, we always talk about AI/ML, we talk about data science, we talk about data manipulation. Now, manipulation is not manipulation, but working with the data and making it in the presentable format, getting insights from the data, because data is the new currency now. So industry also expects the fresh pharma graduates to be data literate. That means when it comes to data science, data intelligence, business intelligence, so industry expects the students to be more tech savvy, more data savvy, and this is one aspect when it comes to industry expectation. And this is exactly why we need innovation in pharma education or pharmacy education, to aspect to address the gaps that the industry feels there is when a graduate comes out of the college and is roaring to go to the industry. So these are the aspects which are likely to fill the gap. So that is one. Then the next one is regulatory and tech disruptions. So again, now you see, like I said, when I was a fresh pharma graduate, the scenario was very, very different, and now everything is different. Now, a lot of new technologies have entered in pharma manufacturing, in pharma R&D, healthcare sector, medtech sector. There are so many different things, and people are now talking about precision medicine, which where the drugs will be designed for individual population. Again, for the sole reason of increasing the safety and efficacy, rather than exposing each patient to the generic in terms of the drugs which are available. You have drugs for which are addressing specific needs of specific population. Then we are also talking about another aspect, that is continuous manufacturing. All these years we have been working on the batch manufacturing, and it has its own advantages, disadvantages. But now industry is moving slowly towards continuous manufacturing. In the developed world, these have already taken place on a massive scale. But of course, in India, that's picking up. Then we also talk about digital health. We are talking about virtual clinical trials. We are talking about doctor-patient interaction virtually, and then monitoring all the electronic health records, and then designing strategies around these. So digital health is another big boom that is happening. And then at the same time, we all talk about AI in drug discovery. It has relatively, in relatively recent time, it has changed the complete scenario, and almost every particular stage in drug discovery and development cycle is being taken over by AI, wherever the speed and the cost is concerned. So you increase the speed and reduce the cost, and this is where the need has been felt for the shift from syllabus centric to problem centric pharmacy education. Nowadays all the knowledge is available, at your fingertips. You have got chat gpt, you've got other things. You just have to type the prompt, and then you will get everything. So rather than bookish knowledge, now the industry wants, or the society wants, or the ecosystem wants students, the pharma graduates, to be problem solvers. And this is where the shift is necessary from syllabus centric to problem centric pharma education. And most of my points or talk which I'm going to mention, so they are going to be based on this problem centric pharma education. So to summarize, today's pharmacy teacher is not only a knowledge provider but a clinical thinker. Now, clinical, I'm not talking from the clinical perspective, but then a radical thinker, I would say, an analytical thinker, or a thinker having analytical bent of mind, a data scientist, innovation mentor, and translational researcher. And this is where, because there are expectations from the students, fresh pharma graduate, and the immediate stakeholder is the pharmacy teacher. And this is exactly where, unless a pharma teacher is a clinical thinker, a data scientist, innovation mentor, and translational researcher, all of these traits or attributes cannot be infused back to the student community, and without which they will not really be fulfilling the needs which is required by the industry. And this is exactly what I would like to focus. So there is a huge responsibility on pharmacy teachers to make a change, to adapt these new technologies, and to make sure that the student community get benefited out of this. I mean, you may say that, oh, students have access to the same information that that you also have access to, but then it is this human in the loop component that is the main thing. Otherwise, students can learn on their own, but I'm sure that will not really happen. So we are human beings, and we have all the influence or impact on the student because they are also human beings. And this is exactly where you, as a pharmacy teacher, you have to play multiple roles moving ahead. Then I would like to bring your attention to another question. What does innovation mean for a pharmacy teacher? I mean, I'm sure most of you are pharma teachers. There may be students in this FDP, I'm not sure. But then most of us being pharmacy teachers or pharma teachers, what is it that you think about innovation? So there are multiple layers, and I will again to bring your attention to different aspects to this. For some, the farmer teachers, the innovation mean pedagogical innovation. I mean, again, this is a very reality that not everybody can be a pharma teacher. Not everybody can be a pharma researcher. I'm talking about pharma teachers only. So some of them, these they enjoy being teachers. Some of them they enjoy being they enjoy being researchers. But then, because you are a pharmacy teacher, teaching is an integral part of whatever we do. And this is exactly where pedagogical innovation is central for us in terms of when we think of innovation. Then we also have the research innovation. This is another very important aspect. Then assessment innovation. Now again, assessment is not just paper correction, but the way you are passing on the knowledge to the student community and how you are assessing. There can be innovative ways for doing that, and this is where I'm going to talk about assessment innovation. And then of course innovation in daily academic workflow, and this is where my title also talks about making every moment count. The moment you are in the college, you are in the role of a pharmacy teacher. So till the time you leave the college, every single moment you can incorporate or inculcate innovation in whatever you do. And you being the role model, the students are watching you, the ecosystem is watching you. So anything that you do will have the immediate effect on the stakeholders, and the most important stakeholders, that is students, because everything revolves around students. And this is exactly where again, when I say you want to do innovation, that I mean there are too many innovation words throughout my presentation, but here you simply have to don't take the word innovation literally. That doesn't mean every single product that you're, but anything and everything you can do it innovatively, and that can make a huge difference. And believe me, it's not that some bookish knowledge I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about simple things that you can practice, and then just try challenging yourself, try innovating in terms of whatever you do in day-to-day life. So when I say pedagogical innovation, again, of course in ICT we have this philosophy that you are a teacher first, then you are a researcher, then comes consultancy, then anything and everything else. So yeah, we do a lot of experiments in terms of pedagogy, in terms of delivering the content, which includes the problem-based teaching. Then we also use a lot of case studies, and then learning bites, as in you can have simple concepts randomly asked to students, or consciously or systematically worked around, so that students make it a habit to learn. They find it very interesting, and I do practice, a lot of us in ICT, we do practice these kinds of things. And then of course, now I'm an active researcher. I work with industry. I've got so many companies that I'm a consultant for. So every problem that I work on gives me a newer understanding, newer insights. And wherever there is a right context, I always mention about this is what the problem I dealt with, and this is exactly how the solution came with. So we came up with a solution, and then what was the learning? So these real life problems, real life case studies really are very incidental in terms of the knowledge gaining, or what the students are learning. And this is exactly where all the pharma teachers should have some kind of industry exposure, in terms of not necessarily actively working in the industry, but working with closely with the industry. And then during summer vacation, or whenever there is time, you can actually go and work in industry for a short period. Believe me, that is going to make you a better teacher, better researcher. Then comes the next part, that is the research innovation. Is going to be most important when it comes to research innovation. Industry academia bond, like I said, many a times industry approaches, I mean, we are blessed in ICT to have very good industry connect. So many times when industry approaches with a particular problem, now you see, industry has money, industry has facility, industry has infrastructure, but why would they still come to an academic institution for some problem? So these are, I mean, I'm talking about problems which they cannot solve. There are all sorts of industry which are very research intensive, tech intensive. There are small industry startups, all sorts of industries or companies come to us for very peculiar problem which may require in-depth analysis in terms of the thought process, in terms of the actual work, in terms of the inferences. So many things are possible. So the industry will come to you for problems which they cannot solve. It's not that they have money and then they'll just ask somebody and then get the work done. Believe me, it's not, right? So industry academia bond is very, very important in terms of research innovation. Then comes the translational mindset. I mean, at times we are so focused on completing a particular research assignment in terms of, say, student projects. So we don't really see that translational mindset. I mean, we mostly focus on academic research. Okay, you have to do research for this much time. These are the resources available, and then eventually you are looking for a publication out of it. Now, what happens to that research? Have you even thought about it? Maybe if you are a seasoned teacher, work with a lot of students, just see how many of the projects actually translated to some kind of innovation, some kind of technology, right? It could be incremental innovation, maybe some aspect of some technology you work on, you improve, and then it's an incremental innovation, maybe not the disruptive innovation, other types of innovation. So do we really have the translational mindset, meaning getting out of academic research and making sure that whatever you work on has some utility to somebody, could be a general public, could be industry, could be other stakeholders, right? I mean, I'm talking in general about the society. Then comes the use of newer research tool. Now, are you really open to using these new research tools? I mean, some people who would want to be in their comfort zone and not really spend time and efforts to learn something that is coming up. Right, so this is another thing that is going to make a very different, I would say, very stark change in terms of the innovative practices in research that you follow. And then, of course, the interdisciplinary projects. I mean, at times we work in silos, we don't really talk to each other in terms of the colleague, maybe some ego issues, maybe some behavioral issues, maybe something else, and we would want to work in silos. But please come out of that, and then you get into this work together. So I mean, it's possible that you have everything, like all the disciplines you have. So then you design a project in such a way that everybody else, meaning apart from your lab, other teachers are also part of it. You don't have to take everybody in every project, but at least wherever you see there is a complementary expertise. If you want to do things on your own, believe me, it's going to take like forever. You may get the credit for it, but then by the time you actually, because research is also time intensive, time sensitive. So by the time you actually complete the research, it may not have the relevance, and this is exactly where these interdisciplinary projects are also extremely important. Then comes the assessment innovation. Now you can, rather than assessing the students by giving paper pen based test, you can give them some challenge, you give them some problem, and ask them to design a solution. To give a design challenge, you ask them to design something, which will test their knowledge or their information that they have, because unless they think, they will not really be able to innovate. And that's exactly where, believe me, you will, I'm sure you are already practicing this, but then the students, very smart generation of people, they will definitely surprise you all the time. Now the question is whether you are open to that, right? I mean, believe me, you have to be a humble person, you have to be a student all the time. Not that everything you will know on this planet. There will be students who would know better than you, so accept it and work with them, rather than having this ego that no, 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 I'm a teacher, how can a student teach me, and all that, right? So then hackathons is another assessment criteria, where you can be very innovative in assessing the students. And then you can also have research proposal writing. So now you have B.Pharm students who have to complete a project in the final year, so you can properly train them in terms of writing research proposals. And then there are many different things. And then innovation in daily academic workflow, you can have journal clubs, talk to students, have the journal club, and then try and learn from whatever they present, and then discuss, have an open culture. And then of course classroom discussions, those are very, very, very important. So every time you go and teach a new subject or the same subject for years and years, but there is always an opportunity to make the change or to make a difference. Try, last time I did this, can I also try this thing, which will only make the delivery very effective. I mean, you all teachers will agree with me that the moment you come out of a classroom, and if the lecture would have gone well, you feel so very happy. I'm sure you all agree with me. Believe me, that is a very, very different feeling, and one should always respect that feeling in terms of, so try and excel in whatever possible way. Try to do things differently. It will only make your brain much more active, and it will actually also make you passionate about something, right? So with this, I will now go to another important aspect, that is AI driven innovation for pharmacy faculty. Now everybody, we use AI, we use chat gpt, other tools all the time. Now very recently I started working with an AI company, which are doing some incredible work in the domain of drug discovery, pharmacy. You will also see a lot of tools when the pharmacy syllabus changes, where there is more emphasis on AI. So a lot of things are happening in the AI field. There are many, many free tools. There are tools which are proprietary, and then this is exactly what we are doing. So when you are trying to teach a particular subject, particular topic, try and see if you can use AI, maybe the free tools, maybe some other aspects, including the simulation-based learning. There are many tools like PKSim. They are freely available. Just that you have to learn, develop that capability. There are many statistical softwares freely available. So try and learn that. Also, the many DOE-based tools, many free tools are available. It's just that you have to look for the right tool, and then you have to learn it. Of course, you have to master it. Right, so you can potentially use the AI for formulation optimization. In fact, there is a tool called PharmDB, where you just have to give the smiles of the drug, and it will tell you what all, depending on the chemistry, there is a hardcore chemistry behind it. So it will tell you that this particular drug will be incompatible with these excipients. Amazing information, because once you see that, you can potentially reduce the number of trial which otherwise you use. Nowadays everybody would want to go for pharmaceutics. Again, no offense against the subject or the discipline, but it's just that students think that it is easy because chemistry is difficult, and I'm not a good chemist, my understanding is not good. But believe me, for becoming a good formulation scientist, you have to have a thorough knowledge of chemistry. Otherwise, you will just end up becoming a formulator who believes in trial and error. If something works, it works. Something doesn't work, it doesn't work. You don't know why it works. You don't know why it doesn't work, and this is where you need to inculcate that particular habit in students as well, and then you can actually demonstrate this to the students, and the students will start following. Or you talk to students, they might be using some very interesting tools because they're very smart, they're very tech savvy. In that case, it becomes very interesting for you to learn from the student, just because you are eager to listen to them, you are eager to imbibe some of the cool tools in your day-to-day routine as a pharmacy teacher. So you can also use AI for toxicity prediction, in silico toxicity prediction, property prediction, and these are just few major areas listed, but there could be many more to this. And I have access to these tools which this company is developing in collaboration with me. And this is where again, this has become the mantra: AI driven innovation. I mean, don't ask AI to prepare your research proposals, don't ask AI to write the reports for you. You do it, you do it yourself, because that human in the loop component, you cannot, no AI can replace that human in the loop component. Then I also come to some of the innovative classroom models for pharmacy education. Now, whatever I'm talking, it's more kind of bookish thing. Of course, we do practice many of these tools in day-to-day teaching. Like, I teach medicinal chemistry to third year BPharm students, PCI syllabus. So every time I don't use PowerPoint presentation. Everything is like chalk and board. I request students to write down the structure, because there are so many structures. So I made them write down the structure. I discussed what all heterocyclic systems are there, which are the functional groups responsible for the toxicity. Say wherever there is sulfonamide, it's likely to cause allergy. Why is this so? So again, all the chemistry aspects, including the stability in acidic solution, stability in basic solution, or instability in acidic and basic solution. So we discuss the chemistry thoroughly. And then this is exactly, not that it's not there in the book, but book will give you in in brief. But then when you discuss, you ask relevant questions to them. And I also make a point that, suppose if I'm teaching macrolide antibiotics or aminoglycoside antibiotics, where protein synthesis inhibition is the main mechanism of action, so I actually take them to RCSB, that is protein data bank. And then I show the erythromycin bound structure to the ribosome, particular ribosomal subunit. All of these structures are available. We zoom into the molecular level, and I explain the SAR in terms of the interactions, in terms of the stability aspects. Believe me, that is very, very well accepted by the students. And these are so very interesting, fun. Then we also talk about now. Like, we have the ICA component, that is the internal continuous assessment. So I give students one drug, and then each week the tutorial aspect, out of 4 lectures, a half lecture we spend in this, where the student, one drug is given, and the student is asked to collate information on the discovery of that particular molecule. And believe me, students they collect so amazing information. It's not from chat GPT. They may be using chat gpt, but then there is so much information. So I don't I tell them not to look into whatever material they have collated and all. So in a way, they're presenting it, so their speaking skills improve, their confidence improves. And then I profusely praise those who do extremely well. So you put them in the competition mode. So, oh, my peers are doing this, I should also do. So automatically, rather than forcing them, no, 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 you must do this, there are marks associated. We don't talk about marks, but then we talk about the quality. And believe me, that is so very well accepted by the students. Then in other cases, learning from failure, this is another very important aspect. I mean, many a times you are conducting some experiment, not that every experiment will succeed. There will be issues with the failures. So rather than just ignoring, oh, it did not work for some reason, try and investigate. There are some students who get crystals, others they don't. So in that case, why is it that somebody got a nice crystal? What is it that they did something differently, and somebody who did not get crystals, or wherever the tissue did not show any response? So a lot of trying to learn from the failures is another very important model. I mean, human mind is very, very tricky, in the sense you will forget all good things, but you will forget, or you will remember all the bad things, or you will remember failures, you will forget all the success. And this is where you can use this capacity of human mind to remember failures, to remember rejection, and then learn from that. They'll remember it for a very, very long time. Then you can also nowadays everything is available on the net, including the regulatory documentation, a particular guideline. So, and then the report that has to be compiled for regulatory submission, that also includes say IND documentation, that also includes COPP documentation and all. So you can actually ask the students to perform. I do give this for industrial pharmacy, which is the subject in the seventh semester of BPharm, final year BPharm. So I asked them to compile the, say, the chemistry, manufacturing, CMC information, chemistry, manufacturing, and control. So believe me, this gives the students a first-hand experiment. And then we also talk like I'm fortunate enough to have two molecules in the clinical trial. So we have seen it all in terms of the regulatory requirements, in terms of the requirements on the experimental side. So I do share these things, like it's a first-hand information, my own information. So I do share it with students. And believe me, last year two students were hired by one company, and B Farm students, they were offered a package of 12 lakhs. This year also one student got hired by the same company, offered a package of 12 lakhs. Now, again, I'm not taking the credit that, oh, they got this job because of me and all. Absolutely not. They are very smart people. And during interview, what you say matters the most. But then the backhand information or background information that they had from the classroom discussion, that really helped them well. I also give them a particular case study, as in, somebody gave you money, and a lot of money, and you are a pharmacist, and you have to now design a manufacturing plant. So typically I ask them after they come back from the training, and I this is a group activity, and then I ask them, you discuss amongst yourself. So somebody will design immediate release dosage form unit, somebody will design parenteral unit, and many other things. And believe me, they do real wonders in terms of when they come up with their own thought process. It's not right on paper or something. So they have to present, they have to justify the material flow, then the placement of the QC. So they have to actually think and write. This is where this problem centric education is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that we do the best, but whatever we do, so we make sure that it reaches the students, and they do really do wonders actually. Then another interesting thing is industry problem solving. We have a festival or a competition called Vortex, which is Asia's largest chem fest. So we have the industry design problems, IDPs, junior IDP for UG students, senior IDP for PG and PhD students, where the industry will give problem and they have to come up with solutions. Now they don't really have to do the experimental part, but they have to just propose the idea. So in a way, their knowledge, their understanding, their creativity is tested. So this industry problem solving is another very interesting concept that I'm sure a lot of other colleges, your college may be implementing it, but believe me, it has so much potential for that matter. So then my next thing is another 6 slides, and I'll be done. So I have got 1 hour, right, Vijay? Vijay, is there anyone in the meeting? Hello, can somebody respond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect,
Present,
perfect.
sir.
Okay, okay. Thanks, thanks. So I will now move on to now the bookish thing or whatever we practice. Now I will present the thought process, and believe me, many of these things are very simple. It's just you should ask yourself with where are we. You have to assess yourself, where are we as a pharmacy teacher. I mean, even if you're not there, don't feel bad, but you can always start afresh wherever you realize you are not there, and what it takes. So my next pertinent question is what it takes to be a successful innovator. Now again, I'm not saying innovator meaning you are bringing new products to like you're developing technologies. I'm talking in general about anything and everything that you do innovatively. So you are an innovator, not necessarily that you have a product in the market and then you have developed a technology, but in general. So I'm using innovator as a generic term. So I would ask now. These are the things that I think, major things that I think that you need, and most of these things have come from my own experience because I think about many things a lot. I'm not an overthinker, but then I always challenge myself. So what is the simple example I tell you. So many times industry will come with a problem. You may not be a domain expert. I mean, you are a chemist, that is sufficient. And then you are simply after looking at that problem, you have the feeling that, oh yes, I can deal with this. Maybe I have not done it previously, but then if I do this, right, because there is time component associated, there is money component associated. It's definitely not for just money, but to make yourself enriched with whatever you would want to do. So you challenge yourself. So you can be a successful innovator by challenging yourself. Try challenging yourself if you really are passionate about becoming someone someday, say for that matter, successful innovator. The next important thing is coming out of your comfort zone. I mean, many a times we are limited by our own thoughts, and this is exactly where you need to come out of your comfort zone. Maybe you might not have your previous experiences, good experiences, but you can always start afresh, like I said. So you have to come out of your comfort zone. I mean, 9 to 5 job, and then everything is all settled. I have my family, everything is fine. Why should I be doing additional stuff, additional efforts? So you need to come out of your comfort zone. Try coming out of your comfort zone and try becoming a problem solver. Now the problem, you see problem everywhere. Now you see many a times students come to you. Probably they have not taken bath for whatever reason. Again, I'm just saying. So they stink. Again, I'm not saying only students. That will be not correct. Anybody, any person you come in contact with, they stink. Now, of course, there are deodorants. There are many things. So it's as simple as why is somebody stinking so badly? Maybe there is some issue in terms of not just the hygiene, but sometimes some people are genetically prone to have bad odor or something, right? So how can you solve this problem? I mean, problems are just around us. You just have to be observant to identify the problem, think about it, challenge yourself, and then try to solve that problem. So try becoming a problem solver. I'm not talking about only the research problem. It could be any problem for that matter. There was one very interesting thing that I saw. Now you see, you always hear the news that some people, some antisocial elements, keep all these stones on the railway track. So if a speeding train goes over, there is potential issue that it can derail. So the Indian Railways, what they have done is they have just attached one metal plate very close to the track. Just you already have a particular mesh, but then they have additionally installed just before the wheel. So even if a speeding train is going by, so it just takes care of all these stones that are kept on the track purposely. Very simple thing, very simple thought process. It can solve a really real critical problem that a potential train can derail. There is loss of life and all. So right, so problems are everywhere. So try becoming a problem solver and try building scientific courage. Now this is very important. I mean, we always say that, oh, this is a very established person, he is saying that, means it must be true, or something that you read about must be true. So try building that scientific courage, which will challenge the status quo, which will challenge the old beliefs. And unless, because now you are challenging someone, you are, you have to produce enough evidence so that whatever you are saying makes more sense. And this is where you will see that you are, you become a very innovative person. So these are few things which can turn you into a successful innovator. Then another very interesting thing. Now I will shift gears and briefly talk about in last 10-15 minutes. What else you are expected to be a teacher? I'm not talking about NBA inspection, I'm not talking about NAC inspection, but very, very important things which is going to make a whole change in the generations that you teach the students, the most important stakeholders, which eventually become part of the society. And the way you mold them is really going to make a whole difference. And believe me, it's just a matter of willingness, it's just a matter of mindset. And these are very simple things. Once you see this, you will say, "Arey, haan, I know this, I know I'm doing this, yeah." Or, but if even if you're not doing, that's fine. You can, what are you expected, apart from doing your duties as a teacher, which is basically teaching. So you are expected to nurture and inculcate values. This is very, very important. Our society needs it. I mean, we always blame the newer generation that, oh, they don't know Indian values, these, that. So it is your duty as a teacher. 4 years the student is in your custody in a way. So you have every chance to nurture and inculcate values. You also have a very important task of nurturing and inculcating curiosity. That's very important. You also have the responsibility and obligation to nurture and inculcate discipline, because if these students are not disciplined, they'll make a very bad addition to the society, and there will be a lot of societal problems. So it is your responsibility as a teacher to do this. And then you also have a very, very important thing to develop, nurture and develop or inculcate: never to give up attitude. I mean, we see students giving up so easily, but then it is no, not somebody did not maybe teach them never to give up attitude. Some people are born to never to give up, but then not everyone is like that. So it is our responsibility to do so. So then I'm not asking you just question, I'm also trying to give you solutions from my own experience, from my own thought process. So, for doing all of this, which we talked about, nurturing and inculcating values, curiosity, discipline, and never to give up attitude, you need to be leading by example. You need to lead by example. If you are not disciplined, if you are not curious, if you don't have values, if you have, if you easily give up, what do you think the student is going to learn from you? What is, I mean, they are going to imitate you because they are looking at you. They are treating you as a role model. And if you don't do things properly, they will actually not, you can't really inculcate. So you have to lead by example. As simple as wearing helmet every time you go on a bike, no matter what, even if within the college campus, no matter, it's like, are pass mein hi to jana hai. So how does it make a difference? You have to lead by example. Believe me, that is a very, very big proposition. You can say, you can tell others that this is what I follow. So you have to lead by example. You also have to be curious. If you do not have curiosity, how are you going to inculcate that something you don't have? So you have to inculcate curiosity. You also have to be disciplined. That's very important. Taking all the lectures, again, discipline is not just about being on time. Discipline is much more than that, and I'm going to share my thoughts on that as well. And then you have to practice never to give up attitude. I mean, very simple. You are in the middle of a practical, it did not work out, so you just don't give up. I know something might have happened, so you actually be there in the moment, and then eventually make sure it happens. So you also have to practice never to give up attitude, because you are just the medium that these whatever you learn, you are passing it on to the next generation, and they'll remember you for what they are. Just the way the beginning of this lecture, I remembered my teachers, and whatever I am today, it is all because of my teachers, and I really owe them a lot, with all gratitude, with folded hands. And this is exactly what you should also, you would also want to be remembered as a teacher, as a good human being, and this is where you have to practice. Now the question is how to become curious, right? Because for becoming an innovator, you have to be curious, you have to pass on the curiosity, but for that you have to be curious. How to become a curious person? And this is where you have to be observant. Keep observing things. There is always some or the other thing you can learn. Maybe you are listening to some talk, maybe you are listening to some news, maybe you are listening to some Facebook post or some Facebook reel, or maybe you are listening to some LinkedIn video or something. You have to be observant, right? Very sharp thinker. You have to be a good listener. That's very important. Somebody is trying to tell you, be a listener. Don't react, don't act to react. You listen. That's a very important virtue. be a listener, right? Be interested. Now when it comes to interacting with students, be interested. Don't just that, "Arey ha, so what you know, you are a dumb fellow." You don't do that, please don't do that. Okay, it is because of students we are here. So be interested and be involved. It's like, be interested in somebody's problem, try to help them in any possible way, and be also involved. As in, somebody came to you with some problem like 2 months ago, then ask, say his mother is not well. So it's, as a good human being, you can always ask, how is your mother. That person will actually feel important, like that, oh, teacher, my teacher is remembering the problem which I had, and this and that. So again, these are all general virtues. We can you can actually we can it can actually make it a better person, better human being, a better innovator for that matter. The next thing is how to become disciplined, right? So another 5 to 7 minutes, I guess, and I'll be done. So how to become disciplined? So again, discipline is not just being punctual. Now you see, all my lectures are 8:30 in the morning, 8:30 to 10:30. I live in the campus, and then so students come from far off places to attend the lecture. And once I enter in the class, usually I don't take students. If I start teaching, I don't take students, so they understand the importance of being punctual. And then the students who will come late will be from the hostel, right? So I tell them, if I can come before you, why you cannot? And people can come from far off places, but if somebody is coming, maybe a student is late, I let them come in, right? So being disciplined is not just being punctual, but being disciplined also means being systematic, being methodical in whatever you do. Simple things, and this is where you have to find out innovative ways of doing things, whatever you want to do. And this is where another important virtue. And then be a knowledge seeker. Like I said, you have to be a student all throughout life. There are many things that you don't know. Sometimes if I don't know a particular thing, I will ask students to just search on their mobile and tell me what is it. So it's possible, not everything is known to you. Sometimes maybe you miss something, and this is where be a knowledge seeker, be listening to students, get listening to student ideas, and give them the opportunity to speak and all those things. So be a knowledge seeker. I mean, many a times I give them examples, typically from LinkedIn videos. This is what I have read. This is what I have seen. This is what a lot of different things. Be And also a very important thing is be consistent. A lot of people just talk. So consistency, doing same thing again and again and again without fail. So that is consistency. That's very important. So whatever you are practicing, you do it consistently. That also includes reading a journal article, visiting some particular conference. These all of these things. So be knowledge seeker and maintain the consistency. Then how to nurture never to give up attitude. This is another important thing I would like to highlight. How to nurture never to give up attitude. So you practice one thing at a time. Don't do too many things at a time. So one thing at a time. Be focused and be involved, be interested, and be curious. One thing at a time. Practice one thing at a time. Rejection is part of the game. I mean, see, major problem with which I feel, at least with the younger generation, is that they don't know they don't want to see rejection. Now I'm talking about rejection. Today is Valentine's Day. A lot of hearts are going to get broken. Somebody is going to propose somebody, the boy, the girls are saying no, so there will be rejection. So rejection is part of the game, and one has to realize this. Rejection, or in other terms, failure, is part of the game, and we have to deal with failures. The moment we learn to deal with failures, half of our problems will be taken care. I mean, for my 90 plus articles that have been published, on an average, I've seen 3 rejections. It's not that it's not about the quality. Most of my papers are in real reputed journals. So it's about again, it's like humans are going to review those manuscripts, so they are going to reject for whatever reasons known and unknown to them. Um, but then we always take that rejection as an opportunity to improve, and then with a few minutes you feel bad, but then the next minute, oh, I really have to improve on this. Maybe I'll take the best part, forget about others. Then iterative thinking, this is another very very important thing. If something doesn't work, keep on thinking, keep on thinking how you can make it happen. I mean, sometimes most of the ideas that for whatever we are working in the lab or doing in the lab will come all of a sudden. You are watching a TV serial, you are in most intense emotional moment, you are about to cry, there is some emotional thing going on in the serial, and then eventually, oh, suddenly something clicks. Oh, and we were working on this and something. Oh, can we try this? And then we just write, or we just WhatsApp to the student or so. So keep on thinking. That iterative thinking, how to make things better, will always help you. And then practice perseverance, right? So this is another thing. Keep on trying, keep on trying. I mean, you hear about Edison. He made the light bulb. I mean, he only succeeded in the 10,000 attempt. So you see, there are many read about these big people who are very successful. They themselves will say that in ICT there is a poster of Michael Jordan. He said that there were more than 300 plus matches where he did not score a single point. Then there were many attempts where the shots were failures. But then people only look at the brighter side. People don't look at the failures, because our society always rewards success or successful people, and this is where you have to practice perseverance, without which you will never be get into that mode, never to give up attitude. The next one is how to nurture value system and lead by example. This is extremely important. People are watching you, anything and everything that you do in front of students, even though not in the class, in the campus, outside. It's like you are a teacher, and so someday you want to you wish to buy some kind of alcoholic drink, and you go to a nearby shop, a wine shop, and then some student sees you, right? So I mean, of course, you are a teacher, but you're also a human being, right? So, and then of course teachers are not expected to do anything bad, because society expects us to do so. Oh, you are teacher, you are lead, you are, I mean, yeah, people will watch you, students will watch you, and they'll do what you want to do. I mean, what they want to do. And this is exactly where you really have to be careful in what you say, how you behave, where you are, what you do, everything single for that matter. So try define the values themselves. Unless you don't have values, if you say that if everything is sab kuch chalta hai, it's not really going to make you a good teacher. It's not going to make you, because it is these value system which will help you in your daily life, whatever research that you are doing, whatever academic teaching or academic work that you are doing. So you have to define values, and there are many values like integrity or ethics. Integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching you. It's like 12 a.m. in the night, the signal is on, there is no vehicle. It's like you will see that, I will just walk, who is there? I mean, no one is watching me, right? There may not be cameras at the signal, but value system, if you are a value, if you follow values, will stop until the time the signal turns green. You will not go. That's value, right? So likewise, there are many different values that you can talk about. And simply by defining values or talking about values is not going to solve. You have to integrate those values in whatever you do in everyday life. So that is another thing. And then you have to develop the habit. So you do things repetitively, it becomes a habit, right? So it's as simple as that. Many a times, you are on the road, and then the person next to you, he wants to go on the left, and you want to go straight, but this guy is on the rightmost lane. He will take a complete oval turn, and then he will go from the rightmost lane to the leftmost lane and take the left. And then automatically you will abuse that person, you will say something, right? But then when you are doing it yourself, you know how much trouble you are facing. In that case, I will also make sure that every time I have to go right or left, I will always give signal. Even if it's momentary, I have to change lane, I'll always make sure even if there is nobody behind. But that is a practice, that's a muscle memory, that's a habit, right? So you have to develop habit, and you have to also practice integrity and ethics. I wouldn't really talk much about integrity and ethics, right? So with this, I would like to bring your attention to the take home message. There are plenty of opportunities, although you may feel that this talk is more generic, but believe me, if you think, I will share this presentation with Dr. Vijay. He may want to share it with all the participants. So what I'm trying to tell you is, there are all these very simple things, but they will only make you a better human being, better innovator, better successful innovator, because your success is defined by what value system you practice, how much hard work you do, and other many other things which are beyond your control. But what is in your control, you can always practice. So there are plenty of opportunities when it comes to innovation in pharma research, pharma teaching, achieving that excellence. So you start thinking innovatively. What are the other ways of doing things differently? Maybe from the cost perspective, maybe from some other perspective, right? So there are multiple opportunities for thinking innovatively, multiple opportunities to solve problems innovatively. Same problem but different solutions. It's the only difference is innovative thinking. I mean, don't worry too much about this word innovation, or innovatively, innovatively. It's just about doing things differently, because it will only make your brain cells, your gray matter more active, and it will only make you, healthier in terms of your neurological systems and overall mental well-being. Otherwise, life is too boring. Believe me, now before this, I actually started taking classes of pharmacognosy. I'm not a pharmacognosy person, but because there was some requirement, and I offered. I'm a professor. I'm teaching 17 hours. So I'm coming from one class, going to the other class. 3 days are very busy: Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Today it's a holiday for us, as in it's no non-working day. But I still take classes because it's not possible to take during the right. So I'm leading by example. So my junior faculty cannot say that okay, give me less these and that. So it's much. I'm taking a workload which is more than an assistant professor's workload. I don't have to do this. Nobody's facing. But then just 2 more minutes, I'll be done. Huh? I can see it's
Yes,
12:10.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. So working innovatively, solving problems, and then making innovation your DNA. So you tune your body, you tune your thought process, you tune your mind to see, doing it differently. So making innovation your DNA. With this, thank you so much for patient listening, and if there are any questions, please feel free. Okay, so I exactly took 1 hour, because initial part was introduction and others. So
Yes,
thank
sir.
you so
Yes.
much for patient listening.
Thank you so much, sir.
How many registered participants, madam?
There are total 438.
Really? Oh my God! But I don't see any of
Yes, sir.
them. So I'm sure there are plenty of them.
Sir, I guess there is no any question because it is very really a complex topic to the teachers also.
Yeah.
But yes, sir.
Yeah, so I really want to leave behind this thought process to the teacher. Think for yourself. You don't have to impress anybody, but do it for yourself. I think that is the only message I would want to give,
Yes,
because
sir. But
the
there
future
are the
of
comments from the delegates, sir. Thank you, sir, for sharing the nice information. Uh, it is actually a nice information, sir, for the beginners also, those who are in the academics. Sir, I would like to share my thoughts on this your session.
yeah,
So, so I would like to tell the main takeaway from the today's talk on the innovative ways to innovate, making every moment count. So, sir has emphasizes we need to shift from the syllabus centric to the problem centric pharmacy education. Need to improve the analytical thinker, data scientist, innovation mentor, be translational researcher. It is the need today's need actually. Also, sir has emphasizes and told us the solutions how to improve our knowledge about the industry and working system in the industry, that whenever we got there is the time, then go to the industry and work over there, so teacher can also learn the new techniques and innovations whatever going in the recent topics in the industry actually. So, sir has highlighted on teachers' responsibility that nurture and inculcate to the students. Discipline is important and need to lead by examples. So, mainly, sir has focused on don't act to react, and be interested, also be involved with the students. So it is, we can say it is the important things we have to follow these things day to day life with the students. And sir, really it is interesting topic. So we got the information about how to act with the students, because of the over scheduled our lectures, practicals, again the inspections and all, but it is important. So I, Mrs. Dipali Bhandari, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Prashant Kharkar sir for such an insightful session. The topic was very complex, really, but sir, you made it very easy, and it is very best topic. Your words have motivated all of you, all of us, and thank you, sir. Thank you for patient listening to delegates again. And I would like to again hear from you for this topic again and again, sir.
Sure.
So, yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the
So,
best, everyone. Try and learn as much as possible, and
when
whatever
sir,
you learn, whatever you
accept this
learn.
certificate of appreciation as a token of love from our institute, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. So can I leave now?
Yeah, sir. You may.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.